Welcome back to learning more about Are You Ready to Date? I am Jacqueline, the founder of Intuitive Matchmaking, and I love this journey, walking side by side with you to talk about what you need to know. Because it's one thing to say I'm lonely and I want to meet somebody. It's a whole nother thing to actually physically sit there with somebody else. I have a lot of people that are so excited to go on a date. You get so anxious. They got to work on all they're saying, what they're thinking. And then when they get that chance, they freak out and they ruin it. And you know what? That person really was a great match for them. They just weren't ready. So I don't really believe in total practice dating. Just practice social activities is fun. But when you're really ready to date, make sure it's somebody who is worthy of you, is going to respond to you the way that you want, and somebody that you're willing to do the work with because you say you feel you're ready. So, for tip number 5, what I want you to think about is your own willingness to share. There's a phrase I use, save the pretty, save the handsome. What this means is, are you actually going to be willing to put yourself together? Are you going to be willing to get up, get dressed, get yourself healthy, get yourself looking great? Are you willing to be flexible? They're running a little bit late, or find a new place to eat. Are you willing to have a new conversation? It might sound like you would be, but then a lot of times once you think about it, some people aren't. I have a wonderful gentleman that joined my agency. He's probably, maybe 10, 20 pounds overweight. Great heart, very busy. He had a computer job, so he wasn't out a lot. He just kind of had gotten a little scraggly and gotten a little bit of a belly, but neat guy, great personality. We kept talking about the kind of woman he wanted, and he had really taken a number of years off from dating. And in that journey, he kind of lost his physical appearance. He wasn't as put together, wasn't as confident. And through our conversations of the type of woman he wanted, he stopped one day and he said, I need to work on me before I could have that kind of woman want me back. And this is pretty profound because I have a lot of clients that, they like the people in the magazines, but they never really stop to think, would that person in the magazine want me back? It's not about negative self-talk or overconfidence to the tilt. It's just about being a little realistic. Are you in the same circle of lifestyle? Maybe somebody who is a Victoria's Secret model isn't really looking for a blue-collar construction worker. It's just how it is. Maybe they are, but chances are a little slim. They're probably looking for somebody in the Hollywood limelight. So, what I want you to think about is how you can improve yourself, and are you willing to be patient to do that? This gentleman that I was referring to earlier realized he needed to get it together to attract the kind of woman he wanted. He started working out at the gym diligently. He had a routine that people knew him at Subway to go get his sandwich. They knew his routine of what he wanted. He had his breakfast routine, he had his lunch routine, and he knew what he ate every day. And it was very ritual, it was a very rigorous schedule, but he had a motive in mind. As I always say, you can lose weight but not gain a personality. He had the personality. He just had to lose the weight. He had to build the confidence again. He had to get the physique that he had before that attracted the high caliber ladies he knew once, and he wanted to find that again. He got himself so well put together, and he came in one time for his monthly appointment, and he looked at me and he goes, Jacqueline, you give me hope. You have given me hope that I can find love again. And I said, now let's get you to believe it. And he actually went out of town. He went and caught up with an old girlfriend's son he had kept in touch with. Hadn't seen her in 4 years, but he had kept in touch with the son. And he really, truly wanted just to see the son. Picked up the son. The mom was in the hallway, the old girlfriend. And went off and did some things with the son. Came back, dropped him off, came in, just wanted to say hi to her real quick. They've been together ever since. And then she flew up to see me to say thank you for bringing back the man she had once loved. He lost himself in his life. He had lost himself in how he presented and cared about himself. He wasn't the man she was in love with before when he had not done the work. Once he did the work, he was an enhanced version and she wanted to meet me. She wanted to meet the person that believed in her past relationship enough to give her and him another chance. I didn't know that's where it was going, but I saw in him what he was hiding behind. So think about it. Is there something you can do? Is there something you physically need to do? Is there exercise that you need? Do you need a new haircut? Do you need self-improvement courses? That's why we have our wonderful courses. We do weekly and monthly courses in order to get people in the right mindset. What do you need to do? Do you need to purge your home? Maybe you have too much stuff from your ex. Maybe you just have a house of clutter. Maybe you need to just let the kids get a little bit older. What do you need to do? What do you need to do to be the best version of yourself? Now, number 6. Getting ready to date means you got to be willing to be physical with that person. Can you imagine kissing somebody new? Can you imagine holding somebody else's hand? Can you imagine being sexual with somebody? Can you imagine crying with somebody? Can you imagine introducing somebody to your friends and family? This is a really big one. That takes my breath away when I think of that big shift when a client gets to the place where they're ready to let their world be open to somebody new. That's why it's a big one. Are you ready? Are you ready to not let other people judge you? I have another wonderful client for this story. She has been with me for a year and a half. Actually knew the guy before she hired me as her matchmaker, but she thought they weren't going to make it. But because she hired me, she continued to come for sessions, and she wanted to be open to what else could be out there. She even broke up with him at one point, thinking there'd be somebody else. She ended up getting back together with him. Problem was, her friends didn't necessarily think he was the one for her because they weren't wanting him. But I always say you can't judge another person's relationship unless you have closed door time. So you've got to be strong enough to own who you are, own what you want, and be willing to stand by your lady or by your man. If you are still needing a lot of outside approval, you're really not ready to do that and be in a relationship. If you still need outside approval, you're not ready to be holding somebody else's heart. You need to take care of yours first. When my client had a breakthrough and realized that the man she's been dating for almost 2 years now actually is the one she wants to spend the rest of her life with, it's pretty emotional. Because every time she come for a session, she always thought I was just rooting for the underdog, and that I really didn't get her until she finally realized I'd got her more than she knew herself. And that even though her friends didn't necessarily want him for her, he was the right person. The thing is, a lot of people decide how they want you to be happy. They decide how you want to live your life, even though it's their interpretation. They make these choices because maybe they're single and they don't want their single friend to leave them. Maybe they want you in a relationship just because they don't want you to be the third leg of the dance every time. And they want to do some couple things. But you have to be the one to make those choices because you're going to be the one that has to work with that person 24/7. You're the one making that pledge and that commitment to be exclusive with somebody. You have to decide that you're ready to make your own decisions. Now, number 7, as I wrap this up, I'm deciding, are you ready to date? This one is big. This one is the deal breaker. Are you willing to throw everything else out, all your past history, and let somebody love you like you've never been loved before? Are you willing? Are you accepting the challenge to be adored? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to say to somebody, I love you more than I ever thought I could love before? Are you willing to believe that's possible? As the gentleman I referred to in step 5, he told me how we gave him hope, and the next part of the journey was to believe. And that's what I wanted him to have. And he did believe because he's in love with the right woman. It took him a long time to find each other again, but he didn't give up, and I didn't give up on him. Another one of my clients told me about when she hired us, it was about openness. And her friends kept saying, you mean you have no guarantees? And she said, no, I have openness. And then she recently told me it was the best money she's ever spent because she has become open to love. She actually met somebody on her own. But he now comes to classes and appointments with her so that I can work with him to be the best partner with her because of openness. Number 7 is about openness. Are you open to knowing that who you envision as your potential new person Might be a little bit taller, a little bit shorter, a little bit heavier, a little bit skinnier, a little bit older, a little bit younger than you expect. Are you ready to let your new love of your life be who they need to be to come into your life? Are you ready to allow this opportunity? This is a really big step, and it is this is a really big step, because then and only then can you have real love. We are honored and privileged to walk this journey with you, and we look forward to your updates and your feedback for what these steps have given to you to decide, are you ready for love? We'll walk the journey with you to find each step. We are here because it takes time to actually get ready for that first date. So I challenge you to do the homework before you put yourself in the hot seat to discover if another person is going to be able to be in your heart and if you could be in theirs. You deserve and you are worth it to find and enjoy and keep love. Let's get you to believe in love again.